Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to all of you today. Mr. Harry Huang, the Director of Regional Department for Asia and the Pacific World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO. Ms. Liz Otiquera, the CEO of Pacific Asia Travel Association. Associate Professor Dr. Hiram Ting, the Chairman of Sarawak Research Society, as well as the Chair of this conference. Madam Mukvinda Kaur, the Pro Vice Chancellor of UCSI University Sarawak Campus. Ms. Amelia Rosiman, the CEO of Business Events Sarawak. Forgetting also Madam Shazad Dato' Haji Saleh Asko, the CEO of Sarawak Tourism Board. Distinguished guests, delegates of ICRTH 2022, who are physically here, as well as those who are joining us online. Well, I'm here actually to deputize on behalf of Premier of Sarawak. He's not able to make it here today, but he sent his regards to all of you. He's got to be in Bintulu to chair a very important development meeting also this morning. Initially, I thought he would be here because he has already confirmed it, if I'm not mistaken, last week. But then there was some change of events, some important matters that he has got to attend to. That's why I have to deputize him today. But it does give me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the second edition of ICRTH, which stands for International Conference on Responsible Tourism and Hospitality, with the theme Mobilizing Responsible Tourism into Action towards Economic Prosperity, Social Cultural Inclusivity, and Environmental Sustainability. The conference aims to advance the knowledge and practice of responsible tourism for sustainable development. It is an event that brings tourism and hospitality stakeholders together to share ideas and resources, as well as to network and collaborate. These stakeholders, well, includes my ministry. We've been very, very busy since we opened up our border. Tourism and hospitality professionals, the private sectors, the public sectors, academic institution. I know UCSI has been very proactive on this. Association, as well as local communities. It is high time that we work together and use platform like this conference to drive our tourism industry onward and outward, onward and upward for a sustainable tomorrow. Well, this is also in line with what was said by UNWTO Secretary General recently, and I quote, "The potential of tourism is enormous, and we have a shared responsibility to make sure it is fully realized." UNWTO calls on everyone from tourism workers to tourists themselves, as well as small businesses, large corporations and government, to reflect and rethink what we do and how we do it. ICRTH was first organized last year in May, when we are still in the midst of the pandemic. Although the conference was held visually, it was quite a success. More than 3,000 delegates from over 30 countries participated in the conference actually via online. It also culminated in the declaration of the Sarawak's commitment to responsible tourism. As such, ICRTH is not just a one-off event for excitement and achievement, but it is our affirmative response towards sustaining and regenerating tourism through responsible tourism initiatives. Therefore, ICRTH is held again this year and will continue God willing, to be an annual event in the years to come. I've been informed by that ICRTH 2022 will be held, or 2022 or 2023, will be held in Bogor, Indonesia next year, with the proposal from the host and the letter of support from the local government. This is a remarkable milestone, considering the fact that ICRTH only started last year. More importantly, this is a testament of our growing awareness and commitment to responsible tourism, and the need for us to take collective actions to future-proof tourism for generations to come. Well, I'm thrilled, as had been mentioned also just now, there are so many distinguished guests that will be together with us. Some are physically as our distinguished guests. Among them, Mr. Harry Huang, Director of Regional Department for Asia and the Pacific, UNWTO. This is his first trip to Sarawak. Welcome to Sarawak. He told me he has been to Malaysia many times, but first time in Sarawak. Well, we are always very proud of our state. Malaysia is a federation. The state of Sarawak is as big as the whole of West Malaysia. Actually, we have got so much to offer down here. Our jungle are still, a lot of it are still very, very original in its original nature. We would invite, we always love our jungle. We love our rivers. We love our caves. One of our caves has been accredited as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, that is Mount Mulu. Another one is on the way. We have submitted to UNESCO for Mount Nia, which has been around for the last 65,000 years. That was what was informed by the New South Wales University. They are doing excavation at that cave, actually. We also, within our midst, Miss Liz Ortiquera. Welcome to Sarawak, also her first trip to Sarawak. But please don't limit it just to Kuching. We have got so many other, we have got a beautiful resort city in Miri, it's just next to the sea, if you love the sea. She's the CEO of Pacific Asia Travel Association, PATA. The name PATA, everyone knows. Even when I was still in primary school, the name PATA, because I still remember those days in the 70s. And when I was still in school, there is one conference in Sarawak, in Kuching, PATA. That's why the name PATA. Even when I was still in school, that name was already there. We have got among us also Professor Dr. Joseph Chia, Professor of Sustainable Tourism at Wakayama University, Japan. Welcome. Ms. Sharon Parkinson, Publishing Development Manager of Quality Education for All, Emerald Publishing, United Kingdom. We have also Mr. John Bruno, Executive Director of the International Ecotourism Society from Canada, the biggest ecotourism society in the world. It must have taken quite a long trip from Canada to reach Borneo, to reach Sarawak. Dr. Sarah Curie, the Tourism Specialist of Asian Development Bank, Australia. And of course, Ms. Audra Morris, the host and judge of MasterChef Sarawak, who is also PATA's ambassador for gastronomic tourism, among others. In addition to the distinguished guests that I've just mentioned, there are about 150 speakers from 30 countries involved in the conference. Dr. Hiram, I don't know how you're going to slot in 150 speakers within 2 days. Yeah. They will cover a wide range of topics related to responsible tourism, such as ecotourism, smart tourism, gastronomic tourism, education or tourism education, women empowerment in tourism, youth leadership in tourism, and event tourism. Well, in short, this conference will feature 2 keynote speeches, 2 professional dialogues, 26 industry sessions, 20 academic presentation sessions, 10 workshops, 30 booths and exhibitions, as well as an excursion to the Borneo Cultures Museum, which we have just officiated just in last March, March the 9th, when we are still in the midst of our pandemic. That is a must-visit place for all those who are from outside of Sarawak. Our Borneo Cultures Museum, that is the largest museum in Malaysia, second largest in Southeast Asia actually, second to the National Gallery of Singapore. Yeah. For the last 4 or 5 months, there have been more than 400 visitations to that museum actually. It showcases all those cultures of the ethnic groups in Sarawak. We've got 31 ethnic groups in Sarawak, so that's why there's so many cultures, so many different kind of food, so many different kind of life, how they lead their lives among the different cultures. It's a melting pot of cultures in Sarawak, and we live happily together. You know? We don't have extremism in Sarawak. Probably you might see that in West Malaysia, but not in Sarawak. Yeah. All in all, you can see why ICRTH 2022 is a significant step forward for my ministry and the tourism stakeholders in Sarawak to realize the objectives of responsible tourism. It also demonstrates our strong intention to join the global tourism community in advocating Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, in the local context. Sarawak government has launched its post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030, or PCDS 2030. We are the first state in Malaysia. Even the federal government has not even initiated on something like this. We are the first state to initiate this way back last year. Tourism sector has been identified as one of the most important economic pillars in this PCDS 2030. PCDS has identified Sarawak's tourism aspiration as by 2030, Sarawak will be a leading destination for eco-tourism and business events in the ASEAN region, driven by empowered communities to conserve heritage, culture, and biodiversity, as well as to promote investment and development through responsible actions. As such, you can see that Sarawak tourism development has been grounded on the pledge that it would be carried out in a responsible and sustainable manner. I wish to thank and congratulate the organizers, Sarawak Research Society, and the Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism Management, UCSI University, Sarawak campus, for putting up this tremendous effort in organizing ICRTH. My ministry, together with Business Events Sarawak, is privileged to co-host this conference. I'm also delighted to see the participation of WTO, Mr. Harry Huang, and of course PATA, two distinguished, very important figure in WTO and PATA for making it physically down here to Sarawak. Yeah. 2 leading tourism and travel organizations to our event today. This goes to show that our endeavors to develop tourism in the state, including our recovery effort to weather through the pandemic and our development strategy in the post-COVID-19 era, are heading towards the right direction. I'm also glad to know that we have 16 national partners and 17 international partners supporting this conference. My ministry is honored to work with all of you, as well as local organizations and community members, to grow stronger and healthier together. Well, in closing my speech, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to ICRTH 2022 again, as well as to also welcome those who are participating with us online. Grab the opportunity to know the speakers and also make more friends during the conference. We have been locked down for the last 2.5 years. At least now we are physically together. It's a good feeling, actually. It's also a good feeling to many other things, the hotels, the restaurants, and of course our orangutan sanctuary. Actually, just to inform those from outside who love all these sanctuaries, orangutan. When we were under lockdown, our orangutan sanctuary, which is not very far away, there were 3 deliveries. I think because we are not disturbing them. This primate, this orangutan, this primate, they've not been disturbed for the last 3 years, 2.5 years. So they deliver. We have got 3 babies, new babies, orangutan. And 2 days ago, an officer from the Sarawak Forestry Corporation told me there's another 2 more that are pregnant. So in a way, the pandemic is good also. In a way, there's a blessing in disguise. If we keep on visiting the sanctuary, I don't think they would be able to have time for themselves. So at least we have got. The last 2 years has been. I look at it positively. It's a positive thing. We are going to have 5 new babies. Orangutan. It's not easy to get them to conceive. Well, on that note, it is my pleasure to declare the International Conference on Responsible Tourism and Hospitality, or ICRTH 2022, officially open. Thank you. And have a good stay in Sarawak for those who are from outside of Sarawak.